At the rate that Qantas's Boeing 737s are encountering issues, we're slightly worried that another incident occurs before this video gets published. The airline has had an awful streak of diversions and technical issues in the past week, and it's something we'll examine in today's video. The most recent incident took place on Sunday, January 22nd, with flight QF102 from Nadi International Airport in Fiji to Sydney Kingsford Smith Airport in Australia. The jet, a Boeing 737-800, registered Victor Hotel Victor Zulu Tango, had to turn back and land in Fiji after smoke was detected in the cabin. This diversion took place around 45 minutes into its journey to Sydney, landing safely back in Fiji around 90 minutes after departure. The incident before this took place on January 20th on one of its busiest domestic sectors, Melbourne-Sydney. Involving the Boeing 737-800 registered Victor Hotel Victor X-Ray Papa, the incident involved one of the aircraft's engines. Apparently, once airborne, the pilot reportedly, quote, received an indication of a minor engine issue. For this incident, a Qantas spokesperson was quoted by news.com.au as saying, "As a precaution, they returned to Melbourne. The aircraft landed normally. This was not an emergency or priority landing. Both engines remained operational throughout the flight." Continuing to work our way backwards, another incident took place on January 19th, where a Qantas 737 flying from Sydney to Nadi had to turn around after a fault indicator was illuminated. After experiencing the potential mechanical issue, the aircraft registered Victor Hotel Victor Zulu Quebec, then spent 2 hours circling north of Sydney to burn fuel before returning to Australia's busiest airport. And finally, the first incident in this series of unfortunate events took place on January 18th with Qantas flight QF144 between Auckland and Sydney. In this case, a Mayday call was issued as the Boeing 737-800 registered Victor Hotel X-Ray Zulu Bravo was across the Tasman Sea. Passengers reported hearing a loud bang as the aircraft was in flight. Around halfway across the Tasman Sea, a slight shudder, loud bang and feeling of a dip was experienced before the crew advised travellers that there was a slight malfunction. The Mayday call was eventually downgraded to Pan-Pan and the aircraft made a safe landing at Sydney Airport. The most recent incident reported on January 22nd was the fourth such incident to occur at Qantas in the space of a week, raising questions about the standard of maintenance at the Australian airline. Prior to this unfortunate streak of incidents, this airline also experienced an issue with one of its Airbus A380s operating flight QF1 in late December. Addressing concerns, Qantas Domestic Chief Executive Andrew David said, "Aircraft are complex pieces of machinery with millions of moving parts, and it's not uncommon to have a problem with one of them. What's important to know is that aircraft are designed with that in mind and have a lot of built-in redundancy, and our crew are trained to deal with those situations so that they can land safely." What do you think about all of these incidents happening so closely to one another? Share your thoughts by leaving a comment. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles every week. If you're looking for the latest aviation news and insights, visit simpleflying.com.